What is going on, guys? Kettleful here with my week 1 picks. You already saw my opening night game between Giants Cowboys pick. I picked the Giants and the Cowboys won. So I'm 0-1. I'm keeping track of the record this year. This gameplay just shows you the bullshit I deal with on this game, playing ranked matches. It has a scripted feel like FIFA. I did lose this game. I recorded it. I'm like, after all of this, I'm not going to record it anymore. And the running game is broken on this game. I wish I recorded the full game so you can see how lucky this guy was with his runs. You will see a video Monday now about the run game. I don't do videos on Sundays because it's football Sunday, so it's pretty pointless to do it on Sundays. So yeah, week 1 picks. I'm already 0-1. We're gonna make the picks right away. Get a little bit of give him a little insight on the game and why I think they'll win. First matchup, we have Indianapolis Colts versus Chicago Bears. I don't know why I said their full team names. I'm pretty sure if you're watching this, you know the team names. I think Chicago wins it. Good defense. Their offense is looking better every year. That's just the offensive line. That's the only thing that scares me about this team. I think the Bears win. I don't know about the score. I think it could be close. It could be a blowout. It just varies on how the Colts' offense is and how it reacts to that defense and how Andrew Luck plays his first game. Next game, we got the Eagles versus the Browns. Obvious who's going to win here. Eagles. They're injured. They're starting one rookie linebacker. Scott Fujita was... actually, they're starting 2 because Scott Fujita is not going to play week 1. The coach already said he's not going to. Joe Hayden will. He is getting suspended, but he will play this week. It's the only thing that's gonna stop the Eagles' passing game is Joe Hayden, of course. Eagles win it. It's gonna be a blowout. I don't really think Cleveland's gonna be. I think Cleveland might be the worst team in the league this year. Next, we have St. Louis Rams versus Detroit Lions. Start of the lookout for the Madden curse for Calvin Johnson Jr. Does it start this week, or does he do the reverse one and just go for 2,000 yards like he says he wants to? Detroit wins this game. Rams are an upcoming team. I won't be surprised if they have the upset here, but I think the Lions win. Their offense is too high-powered for the Rams. New defense looks and that. So next game, New England versus the Tennessee Titans. I think New England just wins this game. That offense added Brandon Lloyd, a big addition. That offensive line is missing some key people. Brian Waters, it appears, is going to retire. I think Sebastian Vollmer's on the PUP. So that offensive line does not look as the same as last year, but that running game looks like it's going to be revamped. So it's going to be a little bit of a... Well, it's going to be a walkthrough for Brady this game. The Titans, like I said, are going to win the division. I predicted them to win the division, I should say. I just don't think they win against New England. New England's a scary team. I wouldn't be surprised if they lose 1 or 2 games this season. Even if they could possibly go undefeated, they improved that team a lot, and they filled the needs they needed to fill. Next game, we got the Atlanta Falcons versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs, I predict to win the division. I don't think they win this game. This is a game time decision prediction. If I was doing this right before game time, it would depend because does Brandon Flowers play or not? If he doesn't play, then Matt Ryan's going to pass all over the Chiefs. Simple as that. It's going to be a close game. I think Kansas City's defense will keep them into it, and their offense, their running game mainly keeps them in it. The Falcons got a pretty underrated defense, so I won't be surprised if it was a blowout. I just don't think it will be. Jacksonville versus Minnesota. This is probably the hardest game to predict because AP is going to get limited touches, while Marcus Jones-Drew gets limited touches. Jaguars are missing their top 2 defensive players, so I'm going to take the Vikings in this one. I think Christian Ponder will lead the way in that defense. It's not the greatest, but it'll get the game done for them. I wouldn't be surprised if Jacksonville wins this game, but I'm going to say Minnesota just on the pure fact that they have a very good defensive line. Next game, Washington Redskins and RG3's debut against New Orleans Saints, who just came off the news that Their players will not be suspended. So we probably won't see him this week, but it's big news for the Saints. Still won't Sean Payton, but New Orleans wins this game. Too high-powered of an offense. That defense is under the radar right now because of the bounty, seeing that the people were missing players. They did a lot this free agency to add to that defense. I think it will be a blowout. RG3's first game. I don't know. It just depends. I think they need to get that running game. They need to find somebody in that running game and start him every week so RG3 doesn't have to adapt to that player's running style. Next, Miami versus Houston. Probably Houston's going to win this game. Miami's offense, no receivers at all. It's just Houston runs 52% of the time. So there's going to be a lot of runs in this game. Dolphins' offense is going to look bad this year. No receivers. Their best receiver is probably Anthony Fasano, and he was on the roster bubble in the beginning of the season before Ocho Cinco or Chad Johnson, whatever the hell you want to call him, got released. So Houston's going to win big in this game. They're going to run about 40 times. I would not be surprised. They're not going to pass a lot. If there's one thing about Miami is their pass D. It's shaky this year, but it's not bad. Next game, probably maybe considered the game of the week for me. San Francisco versus Green Bay. This is another hard game to predict. People are banking on Green Bay's defense being better than last year's. Charles Woodson moving to strong safety. Morgan Burnett going to free safety. So the second corner spot seems like an iffy, but they do run the nickel a lot. It just depends on how Clay Matthews does this season. I'm going to go on a limb and say Green Bay wins this game. Even though Alex Smith got some more weapons, 49ers added for him. That defense, they really didn't add anybody. The Packers, they drafted some pass rush guys that help complement Clay Matthews. And I think Randall Cobb will start getting more featured. And Jermichael Finley's back. And Cedric Benson is a running back they haven't had since Ryan Grant's breakout season. So I think Green Bay wins this. It's going to be a close game. It might be a low-scoring game. It might be a high-scoring game. We don't know. Next game, Seattle versus Arizona. Seattle, simple as that. Arizona's got the quarterback issues. I like John Skelton. I'm a personal believer that he can start. And I think Larry Fitzgerald benefits from him. I just think Seattle wins it because they are the better team. They're a very, very underrated team. That's why I picked them to win their division over the 49ers. Of a 49ers type of season in my mind. Next game, Carolina versus Tampa Bay. Two terrible defenses. This might be a high-scoring game or a low-scoring game. I don't know who's going to win this one. I really don't. I'm going to go based off Tampa Bay. I'm just going to go based off who they added. They added an offensive line. They lost Davin Joseph, the right guard, but they added Carl Nix, Doug Martin, Vincent Jackson, Dallas Clark. I just think they win this game. Carolina's defense, the linebackers are already pretty banged up. They did add a linebacker in the draft, but the linebackers are already missing practice. Their secondary seems a little bit shaky beyond Gamble. That defensive line they didn't really add to. So I just think Tampa wins this game. It could be a close game. It could be a blowout. It's really hard to predict it in week 1. Next game we have Pittsburgh Steelers versus Denver. Peyton Manning's debut is a Denver Bronco. If you didn't see my division prediction video, I'm a firm believer that Peyton Manning will not play all 16 games. I would not be surprised if he gets injured this game. James Harrison's not playing. Ryan Clark's missing the game due to sickle cell. He plays at high altitude. He could die. So he is going to skip out on this game. I know he doesn't want to, but Ryan Mundy, when they were in the playoffs, he had a very, very good game. I think Steelers win this game. That offensive line for their offense, is shaky. I think it's worse than last year's, but maybe Mike Wallace comeback at least to spread the field helps. And the emergence of Jonathan Dwyer might help. I think Denver wins pure based off defense. I think they'll get to Peyton Manning. He'll get comfortable at some points. Peyton Manning is playing outdoors. He only played one game the last time he played a full season outdoors. last Sunday game, we have the Buffalo Bills versus the Jets. I always save the Bills games for last, of course. I'm not going to be biased this year about them. I think they'll win this game anyways. You had 35 possessions in preseason and did not score once. And people are making excuses up. That's terrible. I think the Bills win it because their defense is improved. I think the offense will carry them. I just didn't like the offense for the Bills this preseason, so that kind of scares me. All right, Monday night games. We're just going to go through quickly. I think Baltimore wins the first Monday night game.